Oh my god, a 45-minute game, 2 full pick and ban phases. I'm spent, and it's only game 1. You weren't crazy about the Aurelia pick. By the end of the game, Aurelia was 1-9, so I feel like Tectonic probably not crazy about it. What happened?
I just felt like the Aurelia pick wasn't a really a good answer to like the Camille Galio. Like, I just had a weird feeling, just like Aurelia into Camille Galio was just like a bit weird, and like I felt like Trance actually played the game really well, like with his time catch ults, and like his map movement was actually really well. Like it saved like the Aurelia like the first Camille Galio, and I feel like that's like the first key ult, like the first key ult of Camille Galio is actually really important to negate, and like yeah, I think Trance actually stopped that really well.
Trance is kind of playing at another level. Jake called it out on the stream, but upstairs as well. You were saying in the last game you guys played against Tectonic, you felt like every time you turned up somewhere, Trance was just already there, just annoying you the whole time.
Yeah, he was just like fiddlesticks, and he just feared me when I was playing LeBlanc, and I couldn't do anything. I just couldn't move my character.
Ultimately, do you feel like Tectonic were playing Mammoth's game by the end of this?
Yeah, like I felt like Tectonic were just reacting to what Mammoth were doing, and like I felt like Trance was like the guy being the proactive player, so that's why he answered top. Like he was like at top when they did the first Camille Galio ult, and yeah, I just felt like they were just playing Mammoth's game the whole game. So.
And what do you think the step for Tectonic going into game 2 is, besides just insta-ban?
I think they should get rid of Camille, or they should look to play it, because
Yep.
I think Paprise can actually play Camille.
Yep.
Yeah, so like I think Camille is pretty high priority in this series.
All right, well, that is it for the wrap-up there. And, of course, we are now moving on to the important questions. The questions for Ioma. We have, look, I got a stat coming in. I'm going to start off with just a couple because I'm curious about the Rift Rivals experience for you. Second international tournament,
Yep.
I think. You did the first one as well. Upstairs, you said, quote, I popped off in that first one as well. How do you prepare for a big tournament like that while you're still in OPL mode?
Like preparing into that, like actually into the tournament, I think we lost to Tectonic before we went in, and like I think that was a huge wake up call before the Rift Rivals tournament, and like I think we took like scrims and other stuff more seriously, and like how we approached like the games, yeah, and like I think we just took scrims more seriously, and like yeah, when we go into the green room, like we just try harder.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And when you're playing, you're obviously playing. So you're playing with Direwolves, you're playing with Legacy, you're playing with these guys that are normally your opponent. Is there much communication there between the teams during the event? Is there much coordination? Are you sharing strategies and tips, or is it kind of like respectful distance?
There was some respectful distance, but I think like when we were playing on stage, like when we got into like the stage games, like we were helping each other out, like it's sending, like we're asking each other like what teams we should send in, and we send in the Idols first, and Legacy, and then us. Yeah, I think there wasn't really much talking. I think we talked to Legacy a bit, like about like the Japanese teams, but I think yeah, there wasn't really that much.
Well, the interesting thing was that we were backstage at the end of that last game where you guys were playing, you won, and we had Legacy and Direwolves were crowded around the same monitor that we were all watching backstage. They're all like cheering, psyched for you, like super, super pumped. It's so funny that you then go, oh, well, next week we go back to respectfully hating each other, I suppose. But you played Direwolves yesterday, you lost. In the Rift Rivals event, you basically carried Direwolves on that day. Which one do you savor more? Like, is it more important to have won on the international tournament and them losing, or does the loss yesterday hurt more?
It's hard to say because I don't. I feel like for me, I feel like the Direwolves loss hurt me more. Yeah.
It's just any loss
it's
is actually
yeah.
painful. Yeah, and that explains why you're crying the entire night. We got some questions in for the chat as well. Amy plays. Does Tommy only wear brands that have the word Tommy in them?
I actually have a lot of clothes that like brand, like Tommy Hilfiger.
Yep.
Like I actually like wear a lot of clothes like the brand.
Is it because of the name?
I guess a bit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like entirely?
Yeah.
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 Lots of people were pointing out the belt as well. I believe that's a Tommy Gucci belt.
Oh, just the Gucci belt.
Just a Gucci belt. All right,
Totally.
no, just making sure. Mixith says, what is Ryoma's favorite food?
Probably be pho or fur.
What is the correct pronunciation?
My mom says fur, so I assume it's fur, but a lot of people say pho, so I'm not sure.
And you were just trying to be polite to other people who say it incorrectly. Well, there you go. Now you know. And finally, Alexicon13 says, if you could 1v1 any player in the world, past or present, who would it be?
It'd be Rookie, I reckon.
Why?
He's like the best laner in the world.
Yeah, and you just
Yeah.
want to stack up?
Yeah, but like I'd probably lose in like a minute, within a minute. So
That's interesting because you had just said that basically any loss you take badly.
yeah,
And then your decision is to play the person that you're basically guaranteed to lose to, which makes me think you're a masochist.
yeah. I'd take the learn. I wouldn't be
Right,
as sad.
okay.
I wouldn't
Yep.
be as sad because I know I'm already gonna lose.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
okay. The correct answer, of course, was either Jesus or Gundy, as it always is when you have the choice to do anything with anyone in the world. Boys, who would you want to 1v1?
Jake, because I would win.
I don't know if you would.
Yes, I would.
You
What's-
beat me in a Vel'Koz versus something
and it
matchup.
was like filmed and recorded
Yeah.
and played on broadcast, and it's the only 1v1 that's ever been broadcast between us, and I won.
Yeah, so we could redo that. But interesting, because I want to get maybe like I just noticed that with mid laners, there are 3 kind of mid laners.
All right, hit me.
When
Number
you
one.
first become a mid laner, you watch Faker.
Yep.
Right?
All right, number 2.
And then you go 2 ways.
Yep.
You either watch BDD
Okay.
or you watch Rookie.
Okay.
And
Why do you
it's so
split?
interesting because BDD plays like full team mode. He is like the original Galio guy. Like he still does some cool things in lane, but he pretty much plays like priority and leave kind of champions. And then Rookie is the pick Vladimir against Azir, old school counter pick, make him go sit under the turret, and just like auto attack his turret. So it's always interesting to see like what school of thought people subscribe to, and that Ryoma goes towards Rookie in that regard.
It's funny, like, describing the Azir-Vladimir matchup, that it turns into Vladimir auto-attacking your turret.
Yeah, because it really does.
Sounds so
Because
pathetic.
At the end of
just
Azir, when Azir
throwing
was
drops
really
of blood.
strong, the one thing that gated him was mana cost. So if you were a fantastic Vladimir, you could like war of attrition him. Problem was is if he took Ignite, Azir had all in potential at like level 4 and could kill you. But it's just one of those things.
You just hope that doesn't happen, you know?
Yeah.
Like, like, gentleman's agreement, no ignites. I'll
Look,
take Ghost.
Who
and
did
Azir
you watch
gets-
as a support man?
Marta.
You were a Marta man.
Yeah, because I love him. He's so cool.
Like season 4 Marta?
Yes,
or like just
that,
the whole way
that,
through?
Okay, like everybody thinks about the game versus CLG, where who he played Aurelion Sol.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, Aurelion Sol is incredible, and I'm just like, look how deep Marta is in the jungle. Like nobody has ever like flanked that
Sword
much
Art
on
is a
Alistar.
deep flanker as well.
Yeah,
on
but it's
Alistar.
hard. It's harder to get his VODs.
Yeah, okay.
Like Korea VODs are easy, but like LMS China, like obviously like Korea as well. But yeah, like I just liked him more, and it's easy to watch. He's my guy.
And did you used to watch other roles? Like, did you ever used to be like, you know what, I just want to chill out by watching Peanut run around on jungle, or
Nah.
like Rush run around on Lee Sin?
If you're a support, you don't watch junglers. You watch like a cool role.
Because I was going
Like
to say,
mid
like,
or AD
I feel like
carry.
mid laners, and Tommy, you might be able to back me up here. When they watch other roles, the only thing I ever hear any mid laner I've ever talked to say, I could do that.
Wait, what?
So when you're watching like a jungler or
Yeah.
an AD carry, like you just sit there and think, I could do that. I could be a jungler for a day if push came to shove.
Yeah, that's how I feel when I watch Peanut. I'm just like, I just want to do that on Lee Sin. Yeah,
Mid laners always have the biggest ego.
'Cause
They're always just
The
like,
thing about
yeah,
mid laners
easy.
is they're like, you know, when Lucian was meta, I played Lucian. When Corki was meta, I played Corki. When Zed was meta, I played that. Now I play Xerath, I play Vel'Koz. They're like, you know what? Mechanics are just mechanics, no matter what that role they're in. It's just a very mid-lane.
There's definitely
train of
like
thought.
validity there because
Absolutely
they
there
do
is.
play everything.
Yeah.
Whereas AD carries a couple of patches ago had to play a different champion once and are like, oh wow,
Top 3 top things on Reddit where all the game is broken. I'm uninstalling.
every single time.
But it is interesting to see like insights into that. So do you also watch BDD then, or are you just a Rookie fanboy?
I watch actually all 3. Like, I really watch Rookie because I feel like he doesn't play much solo queue, but maybe I just can't find his account. But I watch Faker probably like the most, and then I watch BDD. Yeah, BDD is actually really good. Like if you watch him like in like LCK VODs. So
Yeah, he drags minion waves and like Simon tries to explain it to me all the time. Apparently he does cool things in the
Does it
lane that
freeze
I
mid
just
laner?
like I look at and I'm like, oh, what are you doing there? Like, come on.
I feel like also like everyone watches Faker.
Yeah.
If you play League, like it doesn't matter. Like talking about even like the roles that I watch as a support player, like I watch other supports, but then I would watch Faker because like you're just he does everything So calm. He just makes the sickest outplays, and he's just chilling like, oh, yeah.
See, I think everyone thought that, but then they put the translations on his screen, and he actually says some funny shit. Like, everyone, like, the reason you think he's so calm is because you don't speak Korean. But every now and again, like, that video where he's trying to escape through bottom lane, he's like, oh, no, I went the wrong way. Like, please let me live. I run for this long. I have to flash the, like... That is, to me, is pretty high.
Yes, but that, like, the train of thought, like, interspersed in there is like, oh, yeah, I think I went the wrong way. Oh, I think I can live. Yeah, I'm just going to dodge this ability, and then the ability comes out and he dodges it, and you're, like, he just predicts it all. And, like, sure, there's a few moments where he's like, oh, no, but...
So you reckon he's like Trance? He can see the Matrix too?
Yes. I mean...
Okay. Trance and Faker.
Obviously, SKT, like, fallen off now a bit, but
Faker's
to be...
still God.
Yes, to be that good for so long...
Yeah.
He has to be cheating, and he's obviously seeing the Matrix.
Completely agree. We are in the Champions League. Game number 2.5
Yeah,
of Tectonic versus Mammoth. Mammoth is able to take game number 1. 0.5 was just a draw.
At least draft number 2.5. We didn't actually get to see game 0.5.
Sejuani, Ricard, banned away. It's going to be a Morgana and an AA Trox. Banned away.
Does much change here? Do we see like a Heimerdinger ban? Do they ban away the Camille Galio? Of course, sides are flipped, so... Ryomo was saying on the couch that he wants Tectonic to take away the Camille from Chippies, from Juve, so they have the option now on blue side with that first pick to make plays like that, but ooh, actually, Mammoth banned it away.
Value Camille super high, apparently, in this regard, as we see Champ Select disappear for a little bit.
Gun Crab stretching his neck, you know, got to keep limber.
We are just going to restart Champions Select quickly.
Quickly is the word.
And I'm crossing my fingers right now.
These two teams are having it rough.
Juice hasn't cut his hair for a while, I feel like.
You've now called him out. Next week, I guarantee you he's going to have
he was
fresh cut.
Going to grow it.
Oh, how long?
He also has good connection on his mustache to beard.
Okay. I don't have a beard, so I don't look for that. Is that what you look for in a beard?
Yeah,
like the connection?
You want to see connection. You don't want to see like patchiness there.
Yeah, okay.
That probably means they shouldn't be doing it, but he has real good connection.
Yeah, he's working on it. I've tried to grow a beard once, and it was really unsuccessful.
I remember when you got out of hospital.
Okay.
Which isn't the main aim of this story,
Yep.
but also thank you for recovering and coming back.
No worries, mate.
I know you did it for me.
Yeah,
but you
yeah,
had like a real scraggly beard at that stage, and it looked super itchy. Was it itchy?
Yeah. You're like, if you grow a beard and you're not like a beard guy, like beards suck.
Yeah.
Like it's so scratchy, and like, oh, you buy like fancy beard oils and stuff, so you like try and make it smell nice and the hair's soft.
Yeah.
Mine was just. I didn't grow a beard. I just hadn't shaved, and there's a big difference.
There's a big difference between those two
things.
Because the thing for me is, I have conditioner. And I don't condition my hair. I wash and condition my beard, and then like beard oil up my beard. This is when I actually have a proper beard. And then Matthew Bougen killed it, and it's never come back. But yeah, when I had a proper beard, I actually used to take a lot of care for it.
No, I condition my hair like a normal human being.
Yeah.
But I was wondering if I was going to say that, and I was like, I looked at you, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to go through with it.
Yeah, no, that's about time you started throwing some hot fire on the OPL. You do it. My rule is if I would have said it off camera,
You'll say it
on camera.
Yeah, okay.
I will try and make it as PG as possible, but I would try. Of course, birthday boy Sybil, not able to pick up game number 1 victory, but would be hoping for the birthday reverse sweep.
Is that a thing, the birthday reverse sweep?
I
don't think I've ever played a competitive game of League of Legends on my birthday.
Have you?
No. I definitely lost my birthday once. Flying from America back to Australia.
Oh, you just skipped the day.
I left on the 23rd, on the 24th. My birthday's on the 25th, and I arrived on the 26th. It just disappeared. That sucks.
So are you a year younger then?
Oh, like did I not have a birthday?
Did you just not count it? Did you just stay 19 for like 2 years?
Oh, I didn't think about that. I should have, but I didn't. So, like, do I just get to decide that? Is that my decision?
How old are you?
24.
Because I think you're 23.
Oh, okay.
Because you didn't have a birthday.
I'm a 24-year-old with only
23 birthdays.
Well, 22.
I have no idea. Don't ask me the maths. We're back in Champions League. So Sejuani, AA.
I don't know if that makes sense. Anyway,
have you heard how people are calling him like Spell Trox or whatever? Because like AA Trox is like auto attack because that's what he used to do. And now like he doesn't auto attack at all. He's like a spell slinger.
Hit you with Q after Q after Q.
Yeah.
and then pulls you in with the W and zooms around and doesn't die because he just comes back to life.
Because I think if that's what we're going to go with, we should go with Broken Trox.
Okay.
Or Smite Trox.
Yeah, Smite Trox is, I like that one.
I like that one. Same band's coming through. That's why we're not talking about it.
Ooh.
Already. Trance's a
Yeah.
Fiddlestick, or is it going to be Sybil? Does he get to, on his birthday,
Surprise
play
party Fiddlesticks.
Surprise Party Fiddlesticks? That would be a huge shout out to Cyclone if he allowed his jungler to do that.
But there's a part of me that thinks it's probably not going to happen.
All right.
Trance has had a very good few games on the Fiddlesticks, but that was a very quick lock-in of the Pike.
Every party has a pooper, Bryce, and you are the party pooper of the OPL today. It's going to be Pike, potentially Swain. I would like to see locked in here with Gragas. Oh.
Morgana's banned away, so they're not going to lock in the duo lane yet. They have time to lock in the rest of that duo lane. But Kuden was one of the first pro players to just spam the living hell out of Pike. He was running around solo queue on release, just playing it game after game, and has made it look pretty good. Solo queue very different to competitive. I don't think we've seen Kuden's Pike in the OPL
I don't think we
stage
have either,
yet.
but you
We've
told me
seen-
about it.
Yeah, we've seen a few other players pick it up. We've seen Rosie, we've seen Jake, things like that. But Kuden's going to get his chance to throw his hat in the ring.
Graves going to be locked in here for Sybil. Not a champion we see all that often anymore.
Oh, but the big crabby man was left up and available
Gotta be kidding me.
for the first time in a long time.
Surely you can't just blind pick it. Surely it is not that strong.
They've banned Zoe, so there's like a mid laner that has left, but maybe they just go back to the Heimerdinger, and they do. Gun Crab's going to get game number 2 here.
And it wasn't unsuccessful, game 1.
Okay.
You're the color caster, mate. Don't look at me.
Oh, I'm like, I thought you would continue. Like the Heimerdinger obviously like wasn't the problem.
yeah,
like-
it wasn't the answer, I
Yeah,
don't think.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. I thought you were making that point. Like it wasn't unsuccessful, but
I was trying to leave the window open for
Oh,
you, you know?
and then I didn't-
Synergy issues right here.
I didn't jump through. Gangplank is going to be the answer for Chippies. Long-time Gangplank player, and he's just going to blind it. Has time to ban away things. The coverage bans come out. It is actually Urgot. The hover was enough to scare Tectonic. Or Mammoth, rather, so they ban it away.
Mid lane Gangplank was a thing a while ago.
And if anyone's going to play it, Remind would play it.
Yeah, potentially.
He's more than happy to pick up the weird niche pick. So Relia does get banned away.
Probably means it's top lane. Because I would assume that Aurelia would beat Gangplank a lot.
Going to force on him early, especially when you have the 80 carry jungler in the Graves. Juves actually this time gets himself the Gragas, whereas we saw Sybil last game, so he wants to have that early belly flop ability.
What do you think about the tusks up the Mammoth logo? Because I know it had a lot of complaints at the start. And I'm okay with it.
I am too. It's very recognizable.
Yeah,
And
that's what, I like distinct logos.
Yeah, I'm not like a visual arts person or like a graphics guy,
Yeah.
but I look at it and I understand exactly what it is immediately. And that's all I really need to know.
I also think that it can be made small and still look like what it
It's
is.
scalable.
Yeah. Well, I think that when you do a lot of logos, people think about like, yeah, on a big t-shirt this would look great. And then they make it small and then it is completely indistinguishable and looks like a blob.
Yeah.
So I like it.
The one thing I know, I heard this rule somewhere, is that like you can't use gradients. You just want to use flat
Yep.
colors.
That makes sense.
And that's the rule. Mash,
We break that rule. We use gradients all the time. There's going to be
Karthus.
Urgot as well as... I'm really blanking.
Dr.
Mundo.
Mundo.
Then it's going to be Varus, Aurelia,
Yeah.
and it's going to be Karthus, as you mentioned. So Karthus, Pike potentially, or mid lane. I don't know.
Coming back from draft 0.5 here, we saw them pick that one up and unfortunately got remade. So is the Karma in this instance. So that's probably likely going to be going towards the mid lane. Graves locked in means the Fiddleflex jungle is not existent. Trance going to lock in the Cho'Gath. We were talking about it out of the meta for a long time, but gets locked in for Papyrize.
And it was never really played into...
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, so we get the Karthus comp this time around. It was never really played into Gangplank top. Gangplank top does beat Cho'Gath, is my understanding of the matchup. But when we have a look at it, it is going to be Cho'Gath as well as a Graves Karma in the mid lane this time around.
And when they locked this in talking about the Kled, I was thinking, like, maybe, do they flip this matchup? Gangplank goes in to the Karma. Of course, Tectonic picked the Cho'Gath for that matchup, and Kled can go top and bully around the Cho'Gath, things like that. They have that flexibility, but Remind looks like he's going to be the one picking it up.
Yeah, and it's going to be Heimerdinger as well as Fiddlesticks going into a Gangplank, a Gragas, a Kled, a Karthus, and a Pike. So really the way they start this fight is drop a Gangplank ulti on someone and Kled flies in.
Slow
That's all I
them
can really think
and
of.
speed you up, and
Yeah.
you just zoom into the backline. It's gonna be tough for Tectonic to be able to dodge that one. They're not very mobile. They have Mantra E from the Karma to kind of zoom everyone away.
They
It's
also
gonna be-
have a big front liner that can just stand in front
Yep.
and just stop that. Because Kled hooks onto the first champion.
Yep.
So, you know, Cho'Gath just stands in front of everyone, gets hooked onto, and then he just acts as a brick wall whilst the Karma, whilst the Heimerdinger is set up and try and repel.
And that's the thing. They do have good counter engage. Trance behind a wall, behind the Cho'Gath, if he's taking the ulti, can just sit there and channel the Crow Storm on the Fiddlesticks. He can do a boatload of damage. Gunkrab has time then to set up like a upgraded grenade and hit multiple people, because it's very broadcast from Mammoth if they want to go for this sort of engage. Just everybody running in behind the Kled, and talking about the lineup that Tectonic have locked in, they have the counter for that.
Potentially, if they get far enough ahead, if Shock has a big enough shield. Otherwise, Mash, I feel like, just starts the fight up and it ends with Chippies and Remind running over the top of the team. However, we are about to get onto Summoner's Rift for game 2.5 of this series, Tectonic versus Mammoth. Cyclone, how do you keep your team level during a 15-minute pause when you're not in the room? Are you just sending good thoughts their way?
I guess if they're going to cope with that, it's in the emotional prep that we've done beforehand. You know, like Sybil's a big meditator, and I know pretty much just any chance he gets, he's just got his eyes closed and oming away, and yeah. So I think it's more like that they have to manage that one themselves, and hopefully we've prepped them for it beforehand.
And I want to ask about the draft decisions. Going back to the Heimerdinger, of course, we saw that in draft 0.5. Like, were you kind of disappointed that they had some time to think about it, backstage, things like that, that it wasn't like a niche pick, that had you been the first ones to bring it out?
Not really. I mean, it's just we picked it because it's right there, and I actually think they've got a pretty good answer to it with the Karthus. So I'm interested to see how it plays out now that we're playing that matchup again.
And obviously you guys are playing pretty much equal games of Gunkrab and Andrew, but Value's still not on the lineup. Have you guys got an ETA? It's week 5 now, going into the second half of the split. Is it starting to get a little bit nerve-wracking playing with only 4 out of the 5 members?
It's not really nerve-wracking. It's more frustrating. The ETA was last weekend, so at this point we're pretty astonished that he's not able to do that yet, but we don't have much control over that situation, so the best thing we can do is just make good decisions and work with the guys that are stepping up to the plate.
And obviously this draft, playing a couple of champions that we haven't seen all that often. You know, Graves, Cho'Gath, Karma, not necessarily a top side of the map that we have seen. So given the fact, it is a new comp, what is the goals of it? What are you hoping? What do you think the win conditions are? What point do you need to get to run over this game?
So we're kind of just picking a bit for comfort, but also we think our mid game is going to be pretty good. They've got a big run at us comp, but we think Gangplank is abusable. So obviously, whenever someone picks Gangplank, the question is, can you punish it hard enough to win the game before he becomes relevant? And we think that we've picked stuff that can do that. But that will be the big question of the game.
All right. Well, thank you very much for hanging out. Best of luck in this game. Hopefully, see you in game 3.
Cool. Thank you.
And on the scale of Klepto to Grasp, Chippies goes Klepto here in the Gangplank matchup. Feeling okay. Wants that extra gold generation, doesn't need the extra sustain for the matchup, because of course Cho'Gath shoves in very quickly, has the E, has the W to influence the wave, and
because what happened,
honestly,
Bryce,
early is pretty good.
Is that they introduced a really broken mastery in bone plating. So everyone started running Grasp, it was great. Actually, let's hold that thought. Juves comes into the mid lane, actually
Very
predicts
nice.
the flash, and will be able to take out Shock for first blood.
Yeah, easy gank there for Juves. Does burn the flash, but very quick kill goes over to the jungler from Mammoth, and that's an advantage for Remind in this lane. He was getting shoved in. He's down a few CS. Only very few waves have spawned at this point, but very nice turnaround.
Certainly was. And what I was going to say is bone plating was broken, but then they introduced Time Warp Tonic, which is equally broken as Remind goes forward again.
I was so surprised when you're like, they introduced this broken rune, and then you said bone plating, and I'm like, wow, I was definitely expecting Time Warp Tonic.
Which is better. So now, you can go back towards the inspiration tree. It's Sybil pulling away Juves right now.
Of course, range versus melee, shove there for the Cho'Gath, so he just floats over. Actually goes for the spellbook in this regard, so always going to be able to go back towards the TP. Traditionally, you see more of the Grasp just for more sustain. Cho'Gath has a lot, but Gangplank can just sit there queuing you once he gets a few levels, gets that sheen.
Well, he's never hitting you.
Yep.
So there's no real reason to go Grasp in this matchup. Time Warp Tonic for him too.
As the dematerializes, so. Has a few tools there. We'll be able to swap out summoners here and there, go for all-ins, like can get Ignite when they want to go for a dive, and you use that one-time use summoner, and you have the TP back and available to answer something cross-map. So I kind of like it here for Paprise.
He hasn't missed a barrel yet, Paprise. However, sitting on a potion quite greedily. Flash is available from Chippy, so if he hits him with one, he will take him out.
We saw him start his recall and then go back and push the wave, so he's just holding on to that pot, hoping he didn't die on that singular wave, and then if he doesn't, he's exactly fine to just recall, maybe TP, maybe walk. That's
Nice
CC.
fear into a very nice CC lock there. Not much damage coming out, however, because Gunkrab didn't have rocket.
Yep, not up and available, so grenade and a couple of auto attacks come through. Trance starts that CC chain off. It's so easy to land a grenade on a feared target that is absolutely barely moving, so anytime Trance gets the ability to walk up, it is rough.
That's why we have you on the show, Bryce, for the high-level analysis. Really easy to land it. I agree.
You do agree?
Yep, I certainly do.
I'm glad you do, because
You're right.
otherwise
You can't argue with the facts.
you would be a bit of a fool, I reckon.
Not the first time I've been called that.
But mid lane, as we take a look there, stabilizing somewhat. CS lead, I expect to still sit in the hands of Shock until that level 6 mark hits. Juice having no flash when Remind has that ulti can get him in there, and flashless Karma does become a much easier target to land on.
You can see they've given Juves very good control of this top side of the map with 2 very good pink wards. Now we'll just walk in, hit the Scryer's Bloom, and they should know exactly where Sybil is, although he is higher level right now, so Juves might have to be worried, although the charge is available, and they will go for it. Juves knocks him back, but there's not enough range for the tether. Where are you going, Remind?
Disastrous. Clicked over the blue wall, so it took him all the way around. Remind, that absolutely hurts. Their missing pings came out from Tectonic. Like, what the hell is he doing? That's a big cooldown expended, and unfortunately, they don't get the kill.
Hey, you'll watch that VOD back and say, I clicked on the map, sorry, boys.
Yeah, maybe he did click on the map.
I reckon that's what it was.
Yeah.
He thought he clicked on the choke point. It's actually big damage coming out of Chippies. Will also put out the ultimate flat. Gets eaten. Will burn down. That is going to be the 1-for-1 trade.
And that's the spellbook right there. Had the ignite as soon as that level 6 hits. So Feast plus the ticking damage, true damage on the back end of that means he does get traded on. But still, that was Chippies going aggressive where he has the Sheen. He goes onto the Cho'Gath and picks up the kill.
I like the aggression out of Chippies.
Yep.
Gets the kill beforehand, denies experience, wave pushing back to him. He certainly won that exchange.
Working on his Triforce. No need to go for anything like the Sterak's early in this sort of matchup, and it's feeling pretty comfortable topside. As you expect in the bottom lane, Heimerdinger, Fiddlesticks have just been shoving in. They have the priority. They are building a slow CS lead. This is what you come to expect in Heimerdinger matchups. Cyclone was saying they think Karthus is a very good answer. Has the Smite, can clear away some of those turrets, has the scuttles that he can just throw around from range without having to commit.
I guess the big question for me is, do they die at level 6? Because if Trance gets in there with the ultimate and Gunkrab's able to blow them up, I would say it's not a good answer. Because farming versus farming, when they can kill you on a minute, 40 cooldown, potentially, is really rough if you're the Karthus.
When they have a button and you...
Because he's squishy.
Ultimately do not.
Because the thing about Karthus that he deals with very well is when Lucian has to dash on him or something like that, and even if he dies, he still just skittles you to death and then uses the ultimate. But, I mean, that's not the case here. Trance is going to fly in, but we'll have a stopwatch, and then Gunkrab's just going to pelt him from 700 range.
Sit from range. I think the one thing to note is that Karthus, in a 2 versus 1, he will actually flash
forward there, and that's going to be the bouncing grenade used. They will not, however, get the last tick of damage. They need one more ability, and it does not land.
And Rockets just go slightly wide there. Gunkrab maybe inexperienced on the champion. He didn't widen the arc of those rockets. All went to a singular point, and just wide of the Karthus, so they don't get the kill.
However, get the summoner spells out, so Karthus, when Trance is level 6, is a bit of a sitting duck.
And I was going to say, right, like Kuden on this pike, he doesn't want to be sitting in this lane, just getting shoved in. And when you talk about the ability to dive bot, as Mammoth, you look towards the other side of the map. Can you get a play? Can you make something happen around this play? Ooh.
Actually, Gunkrab this time around has been caught out, must have got hit by the harpoon and will fall down.
And he's just straight up dead, doesn't have the flash, used it earlier, and what was a winning situation for Tectonic gets turned on its head.
Certainly does. Trance still not level 6, whereas Kuden has his. Wonder if it played any part. Now we just see them hard shove that wave.
Because if you dive a Karthus, he can still clear the wave. He can just hit you with the Q. The Defile is always ticking, and then can cast the ulti if he has time, things like that.
Remind in a bit of trouble here, gets dashed on. Does manage to joust his way away from Sybil.
Red buff, not quite enough to keep him in range there, but...
However,
they do just want
Remind
to
is a
counter jungle.
genius. He is using this combination to give Karthus blue buffs. As actually they go for the fight here, and Sybil gets Ignite straight away, gets pushed away. They still
Clutch
land the bear
lands.
trap on a rope, however, and they will just be able to auto-attack him. They use a Gangplank ultimate as well. Flash forward in the end. So much miscommunication coming out. Now Juve's in big trouble. Body slams forward, but will not be able to get the kill.
And the shield
is still here. Juves has to burn his flash as well.
Kuden roamed over, wanted to get into the play, but too little too late. There are a lot of cooldowns burnt for the side of Mammoth. They burn GP ulti, flashes come out from the mid-jungle duo, and they don't even get a kill. That entire time, Sybil was walking away, using the dash, using the ulti to buy some time, and that last second shield from Shock gets an extra flash on the back end.
Kuden now into this mid lane, flashes,
Oh.
gets the flash out. Worthwhile trade.
Just going to be the 1-for-1. When your Kled and your Gragas just burn the flash and Shock still has his, that's disastrous. So absolutely worthwhile for Kuden to burn his to get the trade. All of a sudden, they have an avenue to attack. Sure, it's a long cooldown on Kled ulti, but when that one's back up and available, they can just rinse and repeat the same gank, and this time, there's less tools for Shock to deal with.
However, without flash bottom lane, does the Crow Storm come in?
Sitting on a pink ward, because Kuden went mid, there's entirety of bot control for Tectonic. They have 4 pink wards on the bottom side of the map. You know exactly the play they want to make right now. It's not going towards the GP. They want to punish this bottom lane.
The problem is can you actually punish it? Because they've teleported behind the turret now. Paparazzi has his teleport available, and they're just going to sit in the brush. This should be the turret going down.
Remind clears the mid wave and is now walking over. Sybil coming from base. Do Tectonic have enough time to hit the turret before members of Mammoth can answer? And it looks like the answer is no, especially on this wave.
Didn't hard commit to it, really, though. They could have sat behind the turret still, especially with teleport threat. Trance can go through that turret, but not the case.
Yep, Shock didn't want to lose too much in the mid lane. Wave was getting shoved in and didn't want to fight Kled 1 versus 1. Kled versus Karma. You expect if Kled can get on top of you, she's just going to absolutely chew him up.
That's a lot of damage out of a barrel.
That is.
And Sybil just didn't A-click through that brush.
Wants the pink ward. Knows it's there. Smoke screen comes out, does spot himself for Gragas. Second barrel.
Juves can nearly kill him. He's got the body slam, has the slow as well. Actually doesn't land it, but still should just
Has
be
ulti.
able to pick him up here.
Oh.
Ults him away.
And
Ulti for ulti still.
Once again, Sybil gets out without
Oh,
having to burn the
teleport
flash
coming in,
deep
and now
flank.
Juves might be in some big trouble. You see,
Crowstorm.
Crowstorm is already there. Kuden will not fall down, but Juves will.
And that's the flashless Gragas. Looks for the play, looks to get onto Sybil, but can't quite find it. And the answer is once again there for Tectonic. They pick up Juves, and everything goes back to the lanes.
So Crowstorm used for a kill, as well as the Ignite. Big investment, but still gets one.
And it's the Earth Drake that was the first one to spawn. No Infernals, but no Ocean. Somewhere in between the two. We're going to see how this one started up. Juves, of course, went for this play. Dash gets himself out on the side of Sybil, but Trance places the pink ward, knows he's not in vision. Juves incredibly low, no flash, no body slam available.
Meanwhile, bottom lane also has been able to collect a kill onto the Karthus here, and they're bringing more members again.
And that is
Harpoon
without...
hits, but they
Ooh.
bring him closer. Do you want to do that? Might be the case. Juves is collapsing on this, and Remind heads down as well.
Yeah, constantly Mammoth are looking to answer on the bot side. Mash does die, but they float down from the mid lane, dissuades Tectonic to commit further, so advantage still going over to Tectonic side, and that was without Crowstorm, right? Like, he used that on Juves in the mid lane, went back bot and found a way to get onto Mash. Very immobile on the Karthus, has now finished his boots, has now finished the Runic Echoes, so does a lot of damage, has that flat magic pen there, but if you get on top of him, then no real place he can go.
Paparazzi and Chippies both dirty farming at the moment, Bryce, on each other's sides of the lane. You'd have to say if this is just going to turn into a farm off, Chippies has well and truly won.
He's absolutely happy. 13 minutes, as
Meanwhile,
that's an
Shock
engage.
could be in some trouble here. Tether will land this time, and they bring in Pike, but that is just a stopwatch used, and they miss time the Harpoon, obviously running out of its duration.
Yep, had to channel it early there and unfortunately throws it out. So Shock, value stopwatch there, gets himself out of Kledol, out of Karthus ult, out of the Harpoon, and another opportunity missed by Mammoth.
Trance now mid lane looking for something. That's a passive that really suits a champion, by the way. New Fiddlesticks passive.
What is new Fiddlestick?
If you stand still, you become a stick aircrow. And then when you move, you get a burst of movement speed at the start. That's why you hear the
Oh, I actually
all
didn't
the
know
time.
that one. When did that happen?
Don't you play Fiddlesticks?
A little bit. I just haven't read the passage. Let's say, you miss some things.
So ready? He'll stand. Oh, no.
No,
We're
he
not
didn't,
following
he didn't
him.
do it.
Meanwhile, mid lane, actually going to be a fight here because top laner is rotating down. Juice just trying to clear out this wave.
And it is rough for Mammoth to deal with this right now. No Kled ulti means that Juice really can't get in. Karma's very quick with the shield. Graves has a dash, so you can't just straight up ulti.
Harpoon, is it
carries.
going to land? No, it does not. The grenade wasn't the empower grenade, but Trans now looking to continue the chase.
If that wave wasn't there, he had the capacity to continue. But Mobies get immediately blocked by the wave. They come off cooldown, so no move speed means he can't catch up to Kuden. Ultimately just fizzle. And both carries in the bottom lane. Actually, Juice looking for Sybil. What?
Electrocute proc is there, and this time the cast will clean him up. Juice still takes a lot of damage.
Doesn't need to knock him back if the cask is enough to just wipe him out there. Straight 1v1 kill for the Gragas.
Remind, misses Bear Trap on the Oath, and the tether the other way will land. So you see who has an easier tether to land? Certainly Karma in this instance.
Point and click. Much easier than a skill shot. I love ease of execution.
You don't talk about it at all.
Oh, really? Do you love Sydney?
I like Melbourne.
Fancy that. Fancy that. Is everybody in this game
Do
just
you
trading
like
blows?
ease of execution as much as I like Melbourne? That's the real question. I would argue I like Melbourne more. As that's actually going to be Crowstorm. Flash forward. Bouncing grenade is there, and they will blow him up. That's what I meant. Ultimate is not available either, so they get the kill for scot-free.
And talk about ease of execution. Shock.
Flash
Very
for
nice flash
again. They're just timing it.
Very, very nice. And Tectonic, very willing to just blow their flashes. Bottom lane Trans, as soon as that one's up and available, they get onto Mash. He falls down immediately. Can they get the turret this time? They've made a play here so many times, but there's the constant float down from the rest of the members.
Does Kuden go for his play? He knows the flashes aren't available. Juice does massive amounts of damage and then pops a whole load back in response. However, Gunkrab underneath the turret gets flown up, but still burns a flash.
Blades
and
here.
in comes Remind. Will be able to get a tether, you think, off the back end of this one? No, cannot.
Once again, ultimate does not land, so he cannot get onto the members. If that did, that's a flashless Fiddlesticks. It's a flashless Heimerdinger. Could have potentially looked for a trade kill, and every time a play in the bottom lane is successful for Tectonic, they're getting more and more damage onto the turret. It's gone from like 80, 60, now 20% HP. It is incredibly low. This top side of the map has just been a farm fest. Righteous Glory completed to the Triforce of Chippies, but you talked about it earlier. He's absolutely fine with this, and he's just farming up, has the Klepto.
He's winning the farm fest by a mile. He's got himself a 10 CS advantage, picked up that kill for some extra gold, and the Kleptomancy for obviously all the mana potions, all the biscuits that he's got at the moment, can sell those whenever he wants willy-nilly. Would be very far up in gold. In fact, you would think that he is a portion of that 2,000 gold lead, maybe even up to 1,000 of it, I would hazard to say.
And it's interesting as well, because we talked to Cyclone, and he said, like, we have the tools to punish the Gangplank. That's what we're looking to do. We want to get to the mid-game where he's been set behind.
Juice
Of course.
in some trouble here, gets tethered. We'll be able to just back away.
Kled constantly engaging in the mid lane early meant that Sybil had to spend more time around there trying to help out Shock, and they've, instead of going top, just translated all their lead into the bottom side.
Meanwhile, bottom lane Harpoon lands, and that's going to be Gunkrab taken down with the execute.
The big turret is not enough, and Mammoth get themselves a cheeky kill. Rift Herald taken away, then almost immediately popped in the mid side. Trance is here with the Fiddlesticks, has the Crowstorm available. Remind, melee wave clear, so is hard to use, but Juves...
Flash engages there. Juice doesn't go for the auto, just goes for a shot. Does not have it this time. Gets executed. Harpoon is not going to land. It just grazes his bum, and the Rift Herald didn't even get a charge.
Yep. Fizzles on the back end of that one. Very nice answer from Mammoth, and both these teams, the proactive one seems to get answered time and time again. Dragon might just be the pickup here for Mammoth.
Yeah, no respect for the Gragas flash body slam there, Juice. Putting on a clinic early game with this champion. Has made a couple of mistakes, but still overall a very good performance.
Just needed, a few ultis to get his eye in. Then all of a sudden they're starting to work out. First brick, still not taken here, as we're going to take a look at what happened in the bottom lane. Stealth came in, Gunkrab against the wall. Gets harpooned during the duration of that grenade toss, so he's standing absolutely still. Kuden lands that one and picks themselves up a kill.
And Chippy's just solo took top lane turret.
Yep.
That is not what you want to see if you are a Tectonic fan, but Mammoth right now, 3,000 gold up, and well and truly on their way to what should now be a 2-0 victory.
And once again, this is a very long laning phase happening. We're approaching 20 minutes. 1 minute before the Baron is spawning. The turret does get answered on the bottom side of the map. Split between multiple people and not first brick, so nowhere near as valuable for Tectonic. And both of these teams happy to just juke it out of the lane phase.
Kuden once again fishing in the mid lane. Actually, just wants his procs there.
Did get the cannon. That's the value. You know, you bet he's like walking in there and like pinging the cannon. Is like, please, please, sir, give me this one.
So I heard a really funny conversation the other day.
All right, hit me.
Which was, I was sitting there and I was playing support and I was like, you know what? Can I get from bottom lane on Cannon Crate Wave to mid lane and get double Targon's procs?
Oh, like, can you walk in time without the cannon?
What do I actually have to do that? And Simon was like, hold that thought. Gunkrab dodges out on that. And Simon was like, do you know that absolutely destroys your mid laner because he's going to hit level 6, like 3 creeps later?
Oh, yeah.
I was like, is me getting the extra gold on the cannon for me worth destroying my mid laner's lane?
You know, I'm going to say yes.
Possibly yes,
yep.
As a support player.
If you're, as a support player, if you're a full AP Alistar, maybe your level 6 power spike and
level
extra
6
gold
not all that good.
is more worthwhile.
Level 3 is as good as it gets for Alistar.
If you're a full AP Alistar, you don't care about being tanky. If you haven't one-shot them in your combo, then you're running away anyway. The Baron has now spawned. 20 minutes. Mountain Drake in the hands of Mammoth. So they actually do it pretty quickly. They have a gangplank. They have a Karthus.
Damage over the wall is there. Gets a
Crow
good
Storm.
Crow Storm as well.
Oh.
Over the wall goes Tubes just in time.
And the buffer is out on the body slam, so gets himself to safety. That's a big ultimate burned by Trance. Looks for the opportunity.
However, now dashing forward is going to be Sybil. Knockup will be there, but Stopwatch burnt. And Remind has somehow got the flank. Bouncing grenade goes across, but Remind's on the back end.
Oh.
And a huge ultimate knocks Skunkcrab back into the team. Sybil gets pulled back. Bear Trap on the rope. Executed and shot. Paprise is still a very beefy frontliner. And Chippies is just wreaking havoc on the back line somewhere. Forces another kill. Now Paprise in some trouble, gets stunned up. Chippies is there. Knockup will go wide, and that's going to be the execute. Kill will go to Chippies.
And Chippies and Remind on the backside of that fight killed almost everybody in the GP ulti. They don't have a jungler up, but they might just be going towards the Baron anyway. Shock, the only member walking out of base. I said they do it quickly. Remind back onto Skull means he's tanky enough to take it down.
And Mash still has Smite, so even though they don't have a jungler, a single target damage that will come out is huge at this stage of the game. Level 13, this should be enough. Gunkrab going to try and steal it with some rockets. Does not get it. Might look for a departing kill onto Kuden, however, who doesn't have mana. Dashes over the wall, just had enough.
Was waiting for that mana regen to just tick over, gets himself to safety, and that's 5 members of Mammoth that have the Baron. We're taking a look at the start of this fight. Tectonic commit very deep into this choke point. All of a sudden you have a Kled with the perfect flank. Mash and the GP ulti on the backside doing so much AoE damage. Tubes lands a very nice task and is just trying to live on the back end. And you get to see what Chippies does. Melee range of the Karma does so much damage. Cleans up Fiddlesticks. Karthus ulti comes through and tried to get onto Shock. Couldn't find it. Paprise once again between everybody on the other side of the map, and he falls down.
And now, unfortunately, for the Tectonic lineup, Chippies is monstrous. Level 15, 2 levels above, has nearly got himself an Infinity Edge, has a Stormrazor as well. He is unstoppable. He will not be stopped.
That is a rough sight to look at, especially as very squishy members in the Karma, in the Fiddlesticks, in the Heimerdinger. They're not very mobile. If you're standing there, if you cop a barrel, that's going to do a whole bunch of HP. Stormrazor means the first one is always going to crit.
They've already taken 3 turrets with this one. Remind took 1, 2 mid lane. Now another turret's going to fall bottom lane. That's 4. This is already a 9,000 gold lead. Do they just keep going?
And this was a laning phase that lasted almost 19-20 minutes. Sure, Mammoth had the upper hand, 2,000 gold lead here and there.
Is on. Bear Trap on the rope is there as well. Paprise gets a knock up. Fear is going to be there, and they blow up Tubes. Do they continue this fight now? Crow Storm is there. Trance goes into the middle of everyone, but they just do not do enough damage, and that Karthus ulti might just take down Gunkrab. No, the execution not there, but Trance falls down. And now Mammoth will look to continue the siege.
Everybody's so incredibly low. Mantra shield barely keeps Gunkrab alive from that Karthus ulti. But do Mammoth just stick around? They still have so much damage. Chippies pops the W4 sustain. They're looking pretty healthy.
Certainly are, and they will be able to break the base. Turret. Hook is on. Shock gets pulled back, and you can see the damage is just so large. But Gunkrab, very nice bouncing grenade.
Grenade stops the triple barrel there. Kuden lands another harpoon. Just wants to leave.
But they cannot continue this. Paprise wants to teleport and will do it. He's behind 3 members. They've run straight back into the big Cho'Gath. Can he delay this? Flash forward. Will not be able to get one. And now Mammoth going back in will get exhausted. Looking for Kuden as well. They want it all. Kuden plays a do-si-do and Sybil going to try and chase him. Somehow, though, Mash has taken down Shock.
Gold lead still heavily in favor of Mammoth. They get the turret. Unfortunately, they don't get the inhib that they wanted, but very nice pickup on the back end of that. Tectonic actually gets something from behind. They get a few kills.
Chippy's just bought an IE and a Zeal.
Yeah. That's rough. Ex-Direwolf top laner. Current Direwolf top laner yesterday did this, where he won a single fight, picked up 7 million gold, bought himself a Spirit Visage and a Chain Vest, and Chippy's once again wins the fight, gets a whole bunch of gold, gets a big item.
Juve's looking for a way in here. Kuden was on the other side. Chippy's probably would have been able to do the damage in the fight if it was required.
You reckon?
Yeah.
I reckon he probably does. Dragon has spawned.
That
is only an air.
2 items. One of them being Righteous Glory, which is like dirt cheap. You pick that up at your $2 shop in town.
Yep.
Versus 3 very expensive items.
Yes.
Remember, 80 carries are unplayable according to a lot of people because of how expensive these items are, and he is an item and a half above his counterpart.
He's incredibly big. Kindle Gem is pretty good value. It's pretty efficient, you know.
As far as gold efficiency goes, Kindle Gem is one of the most efficient in the game.
Yeah. Has himself a Ruby Crystal as well, so he's trying to piece together tools that can maybe
He's 70
keep him
CS
alive.
up. How much gold does Chippies have, please?
Do we see?
No, we don't. Not yet.
Not yet. There we go. 14,000.
He's 6,000 gold up. 5.5.
That's big.
Yeah,
he almost has as much gold over his counterpart as Trance has gold. He's ready for
a
Trance.
support.
He has Trance in his back pocket.
And Paprise gets drawn back. Chippies doesn't shoot him. But Jubes goes in, gets a little bit of damage done. Chippies now fires a warning shot. Another hook is on, and Paprise does take some damage.
Does on the back end of that fight. They're just trying to shove in the wave. There's no turret here, so if they get through this choke point, I have to think that they're going to be able to set up for this inhib. Blade is splitting in the mid lane, can use that ulti to flank if they want to look for the fight.
Yeah, can run through the turret. Jubes trying to frontline as best as he can, but they
Trance.
caught out Trance, and he is a squishy Fiddlesticks. Already has to use the Zonyas. Over the wall goes Kuden.
Oh.
However, Jubes gets blown up. Paprise gets hooked back into the team. Maybe not the target you're looking for.
That barrel does so much damage. I'm honestly surprised Kuden flashed back defensively over the wall. This time didn't want to follow onto his target, but Chippy's
That
does
ultimate,
so much.
and he just zones them out with the Gangplank ulti. Now Gunkrab does use the Zonyas. They will rip back shot, and all of a sudden, maybe Remind going to fall down here. No, we'll get a big bunch of health back, and Sybil will fall to that Gangplank ultimate. Trance also takes so much damage, and they should get themselves the inhibitor.
And they almost completely wipe Tectonic. They're healing up from the fountain. No Baron buff, so the wave fleet is doable, but it's a 4 versus 2. Chippies does so much damage. Barrel.
Trance dives in with the ultimate, trying to just clear out the wave, and you would say that is job well done. The empowered Q does not land, goes 1 for 1, however.
Had to burn the flash, had to burn the Zonyas earlier for Trance, so can't clear the wave and live, but if you're dealt with the options of losing the game and not losing the game, sacrificing your life for the game feels pretty good at that stage, so they hold on for just a bit longer.
And you can see the rest of the Mammoth lineup now starting to get in on the action. 3 items picked up for the Karthus. He's level 16, did a whole bunch of damage with just the ultimate there. That's going to be a static Shiv finished up, and really 1 item slot left available for Chippies, who's having a monstrous game.
Absolutely is. And Baron spawning in 30 seconds. 27 minutes will be the second one of the game. Tectonic frantically trying to shove out that bottom lane. Paprise doesn't actually have flash, so I expect after this next wave, he's going to have to walk over, and Cho'Gath on these big waves against the super creeps, against cannon creeps even,
Takes a while.
wants to just feast them, but he can't because he needs to have it for this fight that is inevitability around the Baron buff, so doesn't really have a whole lot of options here.
Once again, Chippies does have teleport up and available, so he can go towards that bottom lane, probably can win the game by himself, or he can decide to group with the team in case he thinks that there's a potential team fight they can lose. That is big damage out onto Sybil, will shoot him as well, and that's all of Sybil's health. Maybe a Karthus ulti would do it from here and would give them access to Baron.
Yeah, do they want to use it? No. just walk towards the Baron pit, playing it slow, not willing to blow all their buttons just yet. They have Gragas Flash available. They have Kled ulti, so the engaged stalls are here for Mammoth. Trying to just bait this one. Mash over the wall, has the plant to get there if he needs.
Can also just throw out Skittles over the wall. One of the few champions long enough range to do Baron from not inside the pit.
And that's a big wave knocking on the door of Tectonic space right now. Juve's going to start this one up. Mash over the wall, as you mentioned. Doesn't care about range, as that's going to be a two-man.
And they are going for it. However, Paprai is getting close enough. Does he get knocked back in? They commit a lot of ultimates onto him. Trance goes over the wall, but Paprai gets deleted. Bear Trap on the rope is there. And the ultimate from Karthus cleans house. That is so much damage coming across. Great flash from Gunkrab, and they will deter them for now.
And that's almost an ideal fight for Tectonic. It's a choke point for the Fiddlesticks, for
the
the
resets
Heimerdinger.
are coming out right now.
Kuden.
Kuden got one. Is he able to get more? Because, the base is being destroyed.
He's looking. They all do eventually get their recalls off. Pike doesn't do squat to the Baron, so just looking for multiple members here. And that's a 3-1-8. Pike, Kuden's doing work.
Baron falls down, and you said that his Pike has looked good in solo queue.
Looking good in competitive as well. Maybe the best Pike we've seen. We've seen a lot struggle in the lane phase. He did too, but as soon as the map opened up, found pick after pick, constantly floated to the mid side, constantly floated around the map, and the AD ratios on Pike were buffed on patch 8.13 to try and incentivize going towards more of the AD build, especially in solo queue. But for competitive, Frozen Heart does seem to be the pickup, and Kuden has gone for the more reliable purchase here.
Has got himself a BF sword now. Wants to get in on the party.
You know, when you've got a 15,000 gold lead,
Oh my god.
you can probably afford to go for a bit of a greedy build here. Slow
Sybil
goes
does
onto
no
Sybil.
damage to him.
He's got a Frozen Heart. He's tanky.
I mean, Sybil has 3 items. I feel like he should have done more than that.
That's true. He also regens. Any damage that he does goes back into stealth, out of vision. Pike gets a little bit of that health back. Because normally you see like Frozen Heart into Spirit Visage, so you take advantage of that passive, but he's just gone BF Sword.
Sybil just running forward right now with a shield on, trying to start something, but cannot find diddly squat. You can see, meanwhile, top lane Remind is pushing in that wave. They're just going to back away and leave it.
It looks like they're just looking for the hold in the base. Bottom lane is pushing in once more. Shock has to be the one to go over and answer that one. Baron buff is still a half left for Mammoth, so they have a lot of time here to set up the play they want to do. It's another 2-3 split. Juve's floating over with Chippies, trying to just get the shove in the mid lane.
And if Juve's just body blocks for Chippies, Chippies will still put up a good fight against multiple members. I think it is very fair to say.
Yep. Does a whole boatload of damage. Has Flame Horizon, the enemy top laner here. So if he ever lands a barrel, we've seen how much damage it does.
It's like final push is starting to come in. Big barrel onto Sybil, takes half of his health. Paprise does clear the wave, but everyone will reset one more time.
Luckily for Tectonic, silver linings here, they have a Heimerdinger. So he can set up turrets in the bottom lane, try and push out the wave and float over back towards the fight. But Mammoth look like they're finally getting some damage onto the top turret. They've been pushing mid wave in, they've been pushing top wave in. And now they have a cannon wave that's hard to deal with.
Juves goes in, looks for the cast, however, misses it. Now the flash forward is there from Trance. They want to be able to take down Juves again, but Sybil also will fall. Juves will fall, but now Gunkrab in melee range. Is that ultimate going to land? Yes, it does, and it does so much damage. Flash forward out of Remind will take down Gunkrab. Dismount. However, on the other side of the map, you can see Chippies is unstoppable. Drops the ultimate. Now looking for Paprise. Will get hooked back, and a kill goes over to Mash Shock. Last man standing for his team needs to be able to accomplish something before these minion waves crash, because it's a 1v4.
And desperate times call for desperate measures. That was the opportunity that Tectonic had to make. Juves goes in. Looks for the play, but it does not mean enough.
And the flash forward out of Mash, looking to take down Shock as well. The harpoon lands. Kuden putting on a clinic on the new champion on Summoner's Rift. And Mammoth will take all 3 points and 2-0 Tectonic.
And in every single Mammoth victory this split, week 1 they got all 3 points. They've lost the 3 series after that, but once again, now collect another big 3, so getting those victories. We've heard Coach Curtis talk about in interviews how important it is to be able to win these games in two games only and get those 3 points, so doing it well.
They go up to 8 points, I believe, which should put them above Tectonic, or does it?
Yep,
equalize
Tectonic
them?
on 7 right now, so
Yep.
Mammoth going to 8, pushes them above.
Are they above the Chiefs?
Chiefs didn't get a single point yesterday, so they're on 8, so they're tied.
Okay.
And Chiefs do have the head-to-head.
Are they on 8?
So they're on 8.
Okay.
Because, yeah, so Mammoth are on 5 right now. They win this game. They get 3, go up to 8. Chiefs are also on 8, but
Okay.
Chiefs have the head-to-head 2-0.
Interesting. The plot thickens.
Yeah, it absolutely does. Tectonic, honestly, coming into the day, we talked about both of these teams really need to win these games. Tectonic were trying to cement themselves at the top. Now it seems like a bit of a weird mismatch where they've lost to Mammoth, they've lost to AV, but they've beaten Order, they've beaten Chiefs.
Yep.
It's kind of this like weird punching up, but losing to the teams lower on the ladder. But Mammoth do incredibly well. I talked about the importance of turning it around this week and starting the wins before they have to face off against the Direwolves and teams like that. And they do it and get all 3 points.
And whilst this game was a little bit more rough in the early game, once again, they didn't have the clock that they were racing against. They once again had a gangplank. They had a Karthus this time around. Big, beefy jungler and mid laner that weren't really going to get overrun as the game progressed. And they just put them to the grind. They just slowed the game down and just continued to play through it. And it took as long as it needed to take, but they got all 3 points.
And that was it. It was very patient play. We saw it in game 1. Like, they're taking the inhibs and then they just back away, reset, go for the last push. This one you mentioned, like, they have the clock on their side. So many scaling options. And Chippy's just, as a gangplank, didn't fall behind ever. Had the Klepto, had just so much obscene amounts of gold, did so much damage. Karthus the same. Like, Karthus ultis were, like, Tectonic would go even-ish in a fight, and then, like, just a 5-man Karthus ulti would land, and they'd all use their buttons. So they don't have Mantra E.
Yep.
They don't have their stopwatches, their Zonyas on the fiddlesticks to dodge through, and Mash's damage charts would be off the chain that game.
Absolutely would be, and it is going to be Mammoth picking up all 3 points in that game. To hear about it a little bit further, let's catch up with Juice, who's alongside with Ryoma and Nick.
Correctamundo, Juves, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Bit of a rocky start technically at the beginning of the day. How does something like that full redo of the pick ban affect you mentally heading into it?
Well, I think we were like real confident in our pick ban, and we knew like for us, in terms of the way we play the game, our pick ban was like a lot better compared to theirs, and so we thought we could get it again. We just have too much. I think we had too many tools. Like, even if the pick ban got restarted and they banned stuff, we still had other stuff planned. So we weren't really worried. We were just like, oh, at least we get to go to the toilet now. That's basically the thought process.
All right, there's always a bright side, I suppose. Tell me.
All right. Wait, do you miss playing with the old team lineup?
My team's watching this. We'll talk about it later. My team's watching this one. My team's watching. No comment.
Wait, how about this one? Who do you get along with the most on your new team?
Me? There's like no. I don't think there's like one person. We all go gym together, so there's like a good gym crew. We're all jacked, and then like after a bad day of scrims, we go in there and we staunch people at the gym. We just look at them and stuff. But no, I'm joking. No, it's pretty like I don't know. I'd say I'm really close with Ryan because I've known him for so long. Chippies and Mash. Me and Mash get along quite well. If you were still there, I'd get along with you, mate. I'd take me and you to go getting a steak. We'd be getting a steak. But no.
All right, last one.
Yeah.
Is your Gragas the best in O's?
You know what I said at the end of the game there? I go, man, I play the early game like I'm in LCK, and then I just start inting. I had flashbacks. I didn't play the mid game well, but personally, I do think my Gragas is up there. Just up there. I'll say up there. It's been on the Penta a few times. It's just
It's gonna go on Penta again.
Is it?
After that E
I hope so. I hope so. If it doesn't, then I'm calling corruption somewhere along the lines.
Now, I've also got a question in from In Search of Shu. Can you get Juves to sing Sybil Happy Birthday? Maybe just the last line.
Sure.
So we don't hit any copyright if it's still there.
What's the last line?
Happy birthday to you.
Oh.
But like, belt it out.
Happy birthday to you, Sybil.
There you go, beautiful. Now, as a reminder as well, Juves, you are going to be taking part of the Young Men's campaign as representative for esports affiliated with Headspace, right?
Yes, I am.
What does that feel like to be able to give something back? You're going to be alongside NRL, AFL guys on posters, and helping with the like the skin that we've been promoting earlier with the proceeds going to Headspace. How does that feel to be able to give back?
It's a pretty huge honor because I'm kind of on the same playing field as people that I've watched when I support like mainstream sports and stuff like that, and just to be able to give back because at the end of the day I can play the game, right? And people may remember me for whoever I was when I was playing the game, but it's something to just leave my mark. Whenever my time comes, at least I know that I gave back with the power that I had. I gave back to people that who needed it, or not even needed it, but I just promoted something that was really good.
That's awesome, man. And remember that the Darkscar skin, all of the proceeds from that, 100% of it is going to go to Headspace. So please pick it up. Have you shot the photo for the poster already?
Yes.
Can you give us a sneak peek of the look?
Very good looking. I'm gonna tell you, very good looking.
yeah. Just
Extremely,
very
extremely
pouty.
good looking. I think it was the Photoshop, but regardless, it's definitely one to be proud of. I'll put it up on my room, and I'll just every time I walk past, I'm like, oh my god.
Well, I'm hearing that our producer's going to get copies for every player of the OPL. So
And I'll sign them too if they want. I'll sign them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
I think that'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just I think that that's you giving back to both the community with Headspace and also to the people in which
my
you play
colleagues,
with.
yes.
Yeah, exactly. You're just a very giving person. But we will be seeing more givingness after the break. That was a terrible segue because we're going to be seeing Legacy versus Avan right up after these highlights.
Juice doesn't go for the auto, just goes for a shot. Does not have it this time. Gets executed. Harpoon is not going to land. It just grazes his bump. Bouncing grenade goes across, but reminds on the back end. And a huge ultimate knocks Gunkrab back into the team. Sybil gets pulled back. Bear trap on the rope. Executed and shot. Paprise is still a very beefy frontliner. Bear trap on the rope is there as well. Paprise gets a knock up. Fear is going to be there, and they blow up Juice. Do they continue this fight now? Crowstorm is there. Trance goes into the middle of everyone, but they just do not do enough damage. And that Karthus ulti might just take down Gunkrab. No, the execution not there, but Trance falls down. They want to be able to take down Juves again, but Sybil also will fall. Juves will fall, but now Gunkrab in melee range. Is that ultimate going to land? Yes, it does, and it does so much damage. Flash forward out of Remind will take down Gunkrab. Dismount. However, on the other side of the map, you can see Chippies is unstoppable. Drops the ultimate. Now looking for Paprise. Will get hooked back, and the flash forward out of Mash looking to take down Shock as well. The Harpoon lands. Kuden putting on a clinic on the new champion on Summoner's Rift, and Mammoth will take all 3 points and 2-0 Tectonic.
So we're against Sin Gaming in the Gauntlet Split 2 last year. We're trying to get revenge from our loss in the previous split. And yeah, once we got into the game, we're actually 4 to 5,000 gold behind them, and they were doing like the winning play.
Could be a big team fight for the Chiefs, but Rogue jumps in. Agent forced to
They
flash
missed
away.
everything.
Spooks is the first target, and they take him down.
And they sort of just funneled into like a really good Mega Gnar ulti. So I flashed Mega Gnar all 4 or 5 of them. It was probably one of the hypest plays I've ever done.
Spooks is the first target, and they take him down. The jungler is dead. Swiper comes in. Big Mega Gnar, big shockwave, and one by one, Sin Gaming's carries are falling.
Like comboed with the team, we just instantly aced them. Like 4,000 gold down, and they just got erased in like 2 seconds.
Welcome to a special edition of Around the Rift. For a special edition, we have a special guest. We have one of the greatest professional shoutcasters in the world, Zach Rusty Pie. Thank you for joining us. Let's get straight into it because we have 5 Rift Rivals regions to cover. Let's start with Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam. Over to you, voiceover guy.
Thanks, Benji. The group stage was close between the 3 regions, with the teams from the CIS pulling ahead of the other regions in tiebreakers on the back of their top team, Gambit Esports. The Turkish teams turned on for day 3 by knocking out the Vietnamese teams and continued their momentum going into the final. Gambit tried to once again carry the team home in the finals, however Supermassive proved that Turkey and the TCL were the stronger team at the event.
In Sao Paulo, Latin America North, Latin America South and Brazil fought it out to see which region will be the best in South America. Let's take a look at the results.
The South American group stage was neck and neck between LATAM North and Brazil, with LATAM South struggling to make ground. On the back of 3 wins by Chaos Latin Gamers, LATAM South knocked out the North for the rights to challenge the dominant Brazilians. Their development on day 3 was not enough as Brazil closed out the finals 3-1 to claim the title of the best region in South America.
Hi there guys, Rusty here.
In Los Angeles, North America and Europe fought it out to see who would come out on top in that classic rivalry.
Dabbing mascots and Academy Award level acting could not save North America from the European invasion. EU teams Fnatic and G2 smashed the group stage, took the title belts in the 2v2 mode, and dominated the final 3-1. NA will be licking their wounds for a while after this loss. Perhaps next year they should look at challenging someone more on their level.
In Dalian, China, the 3 powerhouse regions of the LMS, Korea, and the region that Rusty here is an expert on, China, took battle to see who would reign supreme in Asia. please take us through the results, voiceover guy.
With pleasure, Benji. Returning champions, the LPL returned with the same fire that led to their victory last year. Undefeated in Day 2, the LPL advanced to the final and forced the LCK to go through the LMS in the semis. The LCK turned up the heat in Day 3, clean sweeping the LMS and advanced to the final. It went to Game 5 with Royal Never Give Up taking on the Afrika Freaks. On the back of Uzi, RNG outmaneuvered the Korean team to retain the title for the LPL.
And finally, here in Sydney, Australia, Oceania has come out on top and taken the Rift Rivals. The first time in 5 years, Oceania has won an international event. We've failed along the way. With failure comes learning, and we've learned a lot.
Oceania blitzed the group stage, with the Direwolves heading up the charge and going undefeated in the first 3 days of competition. The finals looked grim after third seed Mineski took out the reigning champions. However, Claire put the entire region on his shoulders and single-handedly brought Oceania back from the brink. Swiper took the torch and charged his way to Oceania's first international victory.
And finally, thank you, Rusty, for being such an amazing guest. We'll be back next week as we take a look at more League of Legends action from around the world.
Thanks to Hungry Jacks, you